This is my 32nd winter in Breckenridge. So I moved here, single, had fun, but really early on, had a very young family. So I just moved here to be a ski bum, and then all of a sudden, 3 children in quick succession, and that was that's a sobering thing. There's not a lot of time to party and be irresponsible when there's 3 little ones to take care of. And then as the kids grew older and as business became more and more successful, I found myself with time. So then when you're accountable just to yourself, and like I said in the story, I think that you can start to bargain with yourself about alcohol and how you behave, and you go, well, I'll wait another week or another month before I start to slow things down. And so you start to create these opportunities for bargaining, and that doesn't work, or at least it didn't work for me, because I would always kick the can and say, I'll get to that later, I'll get to that later. But right now I'm having too much fun, or I thought I was having too much fun to make any kind of behavior modifications. But there's a realization term. And so it's like this period of time where you know that there's a problem and you're aware of it, but you're unwilling to do anything about it. And for a lot of people, that manifests itself in they have a family member or a spouse or a judge tell them that they got to make these changes, right? When I stopped, I was ready to stop too. It wasn't like there wasn't like an intervention moment where I was like, no, I'm not gonna do this. I was like, okay, I give up, I'm done, I get it, I'm willing to change. But I would say 2 years out that I don't miss it like I thought I would. I think that when you're in the throes of an addictive behavior, then getting out of that can be kind of a scary thing. At least that was my experience. Like, well, I know I'm comfortable in this space, and so am I going to be comfortable over here? It's an entirely different world, and I think that uncertainty probably stops some people from seeking the help that they know that they need to get. They get to a place like, I know I want to do something different, but they don't know what's going to be on the other side, and so then they don't make the leap to say, I'm going to get to the other side. And so I get it. I get that uncertainty it stopped me, prevented me from making change and slowing down for a long period of time. I'm like really committed to the idea, like I'm going to be sober. And it's not like I'm walking around with a banner saying, hey, look at me, I'm not going to drink. But it really disciplined, saying it's not a priority for me anymore. I think that I'm a fairly intellectual person. And so being able to continually keep myself intellectually stimulated has been a really important part for me. I think that, I found certain levels of stimulation in drinking, and, it's fun to have fun doing that, and to the escapism that was as part of that. But I think that I've found a way where I don't need to escape, that I can rather than escaping, I can dive into things more than what I did before. And I really have, I've done so many different things in the last couple of years that I never thought I would do. I started mountain biking this summer with a lot of intensity and had a lot of fun doing that. If you take the burden of drinking out of your life, or the burden of the addiction out of your life, there's lots of other things that you can do that are equally or more stimulating than what you could have in the chemically addictive way to spend your time. And so I would welcome the opportunity to be a resource for anybody that wants to get help. I think that the stigma that goes with it sucks for people. In addiction, when the person who's addicted and struggling with a chemical addiction, it's just not as simple as them saying, I can turn the switch and make it go off. And so people that don't have to deal with the addiction side of it, they think they can tell someone to stop and that that's enough. You don't love me if you don't stop kind of deal. that's not the way it works. This person that has the addiction is dealing with a chemical imbalance or chemical triggers in their brain that are really difficult to overcome, and to stop those things that fire, the synapses that fire in your brain that make you say, that make you have these bargains with yourself. I'll have one more drink. That other person, they'll understand, they'll deal with it tomorrow, kind of a thing. It's not that the person that's addicted is choosing not to love their spouse or their family member, but the alcohol or the drug that's controlling them. I just think it's really hard for people that haven't been through that level of addiction to understand. It does suck that the non-addicted people want to impute their value system on those that are addicted and say, you should be able to do this, when in fact they have no business saying that. Like, what can I do to help you overcome your addiction? Versus, if you love me, you would fix this, kind of a deal. I would want to be a resource for people to say, there's a guy who, we have a big company, we're well known in the community, and I don't want to be intimidating. I want to be welcoming to others to say, if you want to talk to somebody who's, been down a path, I'm available, and I'd make my time at any point for someone that wanted to, hear the story in more detail or take another step or whatever, to help out.